you for the next video. We're going to make 60 more videos. And make sure you give us a big thumbs up. Make sure you check the big subscribe button. Make sure you give us a big thumbs up. So Mom's going to talk about her routine with her friends.
Okay, you guys, it's like a full 24 hours later. Let's finish up / start this Adela wrap up. I cannot believe I forgot to redo this video. I'm gonna try to keep it brief just because I'm so past it. Adela is a past life. But I do want to talk about it because it was a great show. It's honestly one of my favorite shows that I've done. Like, just as far as not really like specifically the show experience, even though I did like the show experience. I thought it was a good venue. I thought, the backstage was big. That was fine. But this was one of my favorite shows just as far as like energy. I think why I liked it so much is because it was like Chattanooga, where pro fitness is the only pro division, and it's fine, obviously having other pro divisions is fine, but Adela Garcia, obviously, and it might not be obvious to everyone, I don't know how many of you follow fitness, Adela Garcia is like the fitness queen, 8-time Miss Fitness Olympia. Okay, so it's like Chattanooga and Adela Garcia. The promoters are fitness pros or former fitness pros, and so I think just the energy, the vibe, like, it just is good energy. Like, it just is, I don't know how to explain it other than like you're there and you're just like happy to be there and you're enjoying the experience. And yes, I'm sure there's a level of stress that everybody was experiencing. I'm sure that I obviously had a unique experience in that specific show. I was already qualified for the Olympia, so I had even less pressure. But I also kind of felt like I had more in a different way, which I'll talk about in a second. But I mean, like I said, even Chattanooga, like, still feels the same way. So I can't necessarily say, oh, I just felt that way because I was already qualified. Like, Chattanooga always feels that way to me too. So anyway, it was a great show. If you are a fitness pro or even a fitness amateur, Elaine did it. She got to get her routine on stage before Junior Nats. And hopefully she turns pro this weekend. So coming into Adela, obviously I've already won Legion. So this is a low stakes show for us, meaning you obviously always want to do your best. However, it's like if something goes awry, you miss something, sorry, I'm opening something. You miss something or whatever, you want to try something, then you can do it without the stress of, you can do it without the stress of feeling like you're putting yourself at risk. You're putting your Olympia qualification at risk, right? So I honestly did not know if I could come in better. Like, I don't know, a week turnaround is very fast. By the time I came off of my post-show eating bender, like, I was 135 still. Remind you, I woke up at like 1:30 on show day at Legion on Saturday. By Wednesday, I was still 135. And I'm like, I got to compete again in 3 days. Now, granted, by Thursday, I was like 131. By Friday, I'm 128. Like, the weight did come down very fast. But I was just like, oh my gosh, it's Wednesday and I'm still 135. Now, granted, I was looking good. I don't know what Ruben did. I just followed the plan. I don't even remember. At this point, I don't even remember what we did differently, if we did anything differently, or if it was just another week in prep. But I just remember in the middle of the week thinking like, wow, we are looking better. I didn't think we would be looking better. So I was feeling really excited and really confident about the physique round, especially coming off of Legion where I felt like I did good. But I'm not gonna lie, that scorecard situation, again, I talked about it in my recap, so I'm not gonna rehash it. I felt like it was correct. I do not and did not ever think that it was inaccurate or whatever. But I will say it was getting into my head a little bit, like the chatter was getting into my head, feeling like people didn't think that I deserved it. So I wanted to be better. I wanted to have this moment where it's like, yes, okay, see, like, let's all make sure we all can see that Andrea did deserve this. So even though it was a new competition, I was like, that was a big reason for me that I wanted to do better. And so I was looking good. I woke up that morning, I was like 128 on show morning. That was wild, you guys. So great. I didn't run my routine at all in between the shows. Obviously, it was only a week. Show morning, I wake up 128. I'm looking insane. We did a different peak. We did like a hard depletion, and then we gave me a carbs a couple days out, and then I had a sushi, like, additional refeed the night before. Digestion was moving good. Y'all, it was lit. I was so happy. First call outs, they kept us on stage for ages. Okay? I actually kind of loved it, but I also kind of hated it. I loved it because I feel like that was a really good, hard fought prejudging round. Like, you want to, like, at least for me, I want to be on stage for a long time. Now, I don't want to be on there too long. I don't want to be dying, but I want to feel like I am earning this spot. And, like, what am I trying to say? Like, I want to feel like my entire prep was for more than just 30 seconds on stage, right? Like, so one thing that I did not like about it was we did first looks, which is great. You normally do that alphabetical order. You go on stage, you come off. You go on stage, you come off, depending on how many groups you have. Then you do individuals. You go on stage, you come off. You go on stage, you come off. Then they do call outs where they put everybody on the line and then just the call outs come out. Well, we did first look, but then they're like, after your individual, you are going to stay on stage. So we were on stage for everyone's individual. I was number 3. So I do my individual, and now I'm just standing there on stage watching everybody else, which sounds like not that big of a deal. But y'all, that means you're on stage this entire time holding a pose. I always kick off my shoes in between. So I'm standing during time that I'm normally not standing, and I'm posing during time that I'm normally not posing. So that was like, my feet were numb by the end of it. I literally could not feel my feet by the end of prejudging because we were on stage for so long. So we did our first looks, then we did individuals. Like I said, we stay on stage. I did a new posing routine just because I could, and whatever, right? They didn't do first call outs. They just put all 8 of us on a line. We rotate. Then they pulled the top 4 out, which was me, Courtney, Amber, and Anya. You guys, first off, I felt amazing, so I was really happy already. I could have been happy with 4th because for some reason, I just like felt in my gut that Courtney was going to jump me this time. Like, she was behind me at Legion, but something made me feel like even though I'm better this week, she's going to be ahead of me this week. And I would have been okay with it. Courtney has a great physique, and again, it really just depends on the preference of the judges. But there were also people like, yeah, I almost think you could have been second. I didn't really think that I was second, but again, I think it was an argument that I could have made for myself, only because I do know that Anya was having a little bit of posing issues on her back pose. Again, Anya's conditioning was better than mine in general, and she's more muscular than I am, but I have a better shape. And the back of my legs specifically are tighter than Anya's. Now, her back, she has a better upper back, but the bottom half of my posterior shot, I would say, is better. And then again, it's just like, do you prefer shape or do you prefer, muscle and or conditioning? I think she had a little bit more on me. But again, when you're going through rounds of prejudging, all 3 of us, me, Courtney, and Anya, all split center with Amber at least for 1 round of quarters. So anyway, they take us 4 off, they do the bottom 4, blah, 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 then they bring us 4 back on. So again, we do round of quarters. I'm splitting center with Amber first, and they move Anya back in. Same thing happened in the original call out. Courtney splitting center with Amber, then they move Anya in. And then, so anyway, I kind of figured it was Anya only because when I was splitting center with Amber and when Courtney was splitting center with Amber, after a round of quarters, both times they put Anya in that spot instead. And plus Anya finished in that split center. So I just figured Anya's probably second place, but I might be second place, but I also might be 4th place. So after prejudging, I feel amazing. I don't really know which rank I'm in, but at that point I felt really good about just what I did, how I felt, what we put on stage, how I posed, like all that good stuff. Finals, you guys. There was so much traffic coming back to finals. Me and Abby literally got 5 minutes on stage. 5. And I was super frustrated, but then I was just like, it is what it is. Like, what can you do? Luckily, you already won your Olympia qualification. Not only did we only get 5 minutes on stage to warm up because we got there so late, we warmed up, and then there was 90 minutes until our division started. So the warm-up didn't even really matter, but for me, the warm-up mattered because I hadn't done a stage touch yet. I hadn't tumbled on that floor. I haven't done any of my run, I hadn't done anything on that surface. So I needed to feel it. I didn't necessarily need to warm up my skills, but I did need to feel the stage and space my routine. Routines go. Mine's a freaking mess. In my mind, it was a tragedy, okay? I bobbled my hands on my handstand. I had to save it. Then when I kicked my foot through on my straddle hold, my heels tapped once. There's actually a photo of me in my straddle hold, but my heels are on the ground. Then when I go into my little, I don't know, croc, but it's 2 hands, my face touched the ground. And then I ran into the banner before my tumbling pass. The first 30 seconds, I've already had 4 mistakes. I didn't do my full because I was shaken up by running into the banner. After I literally said out loud on stage, Andrea, fix it. I'm looking at Becca in my fake straddle hold like this. Now, luckily, I do 2 straddle holds in my routine. So, anyway, I tell myself, Andrea, fix it. Then after that, honestly, the routine was lit. The rest of the routine was so good and so fun to perform. Adela Garcia's crowd, that crowd was so fun to perform to. Honestly, I think that was the best crowd I performed for. Like, everybody was loud, lit, energetic. Like, it was a really fun crowd to perform for. So that was good. The rest of it's really good, but like I said, I just felt like I had so many mistakes. I've watched it several times now, and it wasn't as bad as it felt. But, you know, coming off of Legion, where I just, like, had this amazing routine, I was just like, that was a freaking mess. And, like, everybody else from Legion got better. And I was like, I'm going to get 5th place, hopefully. You guys, I really was like, I hope that I rank. Like, there was no, well, I'll probably get 2nd place this week. I'll probably get 3rd. I was like, I hope that I'm in the top 5. I'm going to be lucky to be in the top 5. Everybody else goes. Now, there were a couple people that had some mistakes. Abby's routine was lit. I was like, oh my gosh, Abby's going to win when she round. Which I actually didn't care that she won. I knew that I wasn't going to win, so I didn't really care who won, to be honest. But Abby's routine was lit. She changed it, which we'll talk about on the final call out. But I figured, like, Amber's winning this show. Amber's routine was much better than last week for whatever reason. I think Amber's energy was just better, right? Her whole family was there. She was local. Anya's routine was really good. Abby's routine was really good. And my routine was a hot ass mess. In my mind, a hot mess. Awards happen. They're like, say 5th place. It's not me. They say 4th place. And it's not me. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, I don't think I'm in the top 5. They say 3rd place. And it's not me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really not in the top 5. Like, if I didn't get 3rd, I'm not in the top 5. Like, I seriously was on stage like, I thought I didn't get in the top 5, but I can't believe I actually am not in the top 5. They said 2nd place. You guys, you would have thought I won another Olympia qualification. I was like, y'all, I was so happy to get 2nd place. I've never been happier to get 2nd place. I don't think you guys understand. I truly did not think that I was ranking. So when I got 2nd place, I was so thankful and I was so happy for Amber. One thing that I love about competing with Amber is that Amber is very competitive. We both came from competitive cheerleading. Actually, she cheered with my older brother in college. Her and her husband both cheered with my brother. Amber is very competitive, but she's like me, where she's very competitive, but it's not actually ever about other people. Like, I'm competitive, but it's not because I want to beat you, or I want to beat you, or I want to be better than you. I'm competitive in that I'm like, I just want to be the best. And I know that sounds similar because, like, obviously if I want to be the best, that means I want to be better than someone else. But it's like the drive comes from me wanting to be better than myself, and also wanting my best to be good enough to be the best. That's the thing. Is like, yes, I want to be my best, but I also have an expectation that my best is enough to win, right? And I've talked about that a lot. Like, hey, you know, currently when we talk about my conditioning, my current physique, current ceiling right now, my best that I have ever brought to a stage, yes, I want to bring my best, but I also want to get to a point where my best is good enough to beat Amber specifically. I'm going to say Amber just because she's the one that I'm talking about, right? Do I actually care if I beat Amber? No. So I'm competitive in the way that I not only want to be my best, but my expectation, my challenge for myself is that my best is 1st place. Okay? So it doesn't become, because of that, like, small difference in how we frame our competitive nature, we don't have animosity with each other, because part of that is respecting the competition and the integrity of the competition. And yes, I like for instance in this, and this is absolutely in no way to take away from Amber's win, but I was not at my best. I literally was like, I'm not placing. There's part of you that's like, well, sorry, you were not your best, so I won. But the other part of you is like, no, I want you at your best. I want to beat you at your best. And again, it's not actually about the other person. It's about respecting the integrity of the competition and the people that you're competing against, that you want everyone to be maxed out and then you still want to beat them. Right? So anyway, so what I love about Amber, all that whole long thing to say, is that Amber is also very competitive, and she was so sincerely happy for me when I won Legion, but then she was like, but beware, honey, beware, because I'm coming for you at Adela. She did not say that she's coming for me, but she was like, I'm coming for Adela. And I'm like, let's go. Like, I want you to come for Adela. Now, again, I would have loved to win. I'm still irritated that my routine wasn't its best. But I'm like, yes, I want you to bring your best. I want you to have a fire, because now you just lost a qualification that you were the favorite to win, right? So like, I just love that mine and Amber's competitive relationship is still very positive, that we can be sincerely happy for each other, because now we've gone 3 shows against each other, and she's beaten me twice and I've beaten her once. But like, now we get to go to the Olympia together, which is fun, because the Arnold, she beat me. She got 4th and I got 5th, obviously. But the Arnold, for both of us, we were both just so excited. Like, oh my gosh, did we really just get in the top 6 at the Arnold? Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, because we're both kind of that upper middle tier of competitor, where we're not Shelly, Allison, Tam. We're not people that can pretty much just go win any show that we do. We are still people who have to fight and claw for our wins, even if we are starting to approach that, like, okay, she could win. She's probably going to be in the top 3 very consistently, top 2 very consistently. But I don't think that Amber and I don't think that either of us are yet quite at the point where it's like, okay, if this person's entering, I'm not winning. This person is winning, right? Neither of us are really like shoo-ins to win. Obviously, anybody can get beat at any time, but I also think to a degree we have to be realistic that some people are just not really going to be getting beat at regular shows. Shelly's doing Atlanta. I don't think that's a secret. I think she put it on her social media or something. Shelly's doing Atlanta. Nobody's going to beat her. Whatever show Shelly does that's not the Olympia or the Arnold, she's winning. Amber and I are not quite at that level. We could win, but it depends on the lineup. It depends on the panel. Like, it's still very specific. So anyway, all that to say is we did Arnold together. We were super excited. We kind of strategized, even though we both did Legion and Adela, but we both were like, look, we both want to get to the Olympia. We both want to see the other person at the Olympia, but we would like to like not be against each other if we can. And then we both ended up, we're like, okay, well, let's just both do both. And so now it's fun because we get to do the Olympia together, even though, again, I would have liked to win. I would have liked to nail my routine. I did win routine. I was so happy about that. And I talked about it in my Olympia vlog. My first vlog is like, knowing I can win routine round when it's not my best routine gives me a huge confidence boost coming into the Olympia, because my routine's just going to get better, right? So I did not win unanimous, which is why I did not win the show. If I would have won routine in a unanimous score once across the board, Amber and I would have tied, which would have broken to me as the winner. But I didn't win unanimous. I think one judge had her higher than me, so she beat me by like 2 or 3 points or whatever the difference is. But anyway, all that to say is, it was a great experience. Honestly, like, obviously I would have liked to have another win under my belt. I would have liked to have an additional $1,000 than what I won. But it also, like, was, like I said, a fun show, great experience, great vibe with the girls, like, great crowd energy. Like, it was a really good show. So I just feel like that was a great way to finish off my chasing the Olympia. Like I said, even though I would have liked to win, I'm not mad at all about a second place, especially because my physique was like, that was my best and proudest, least stressed physique that I put on stage. And like I said, my routine wasn't my best, but I was also just coming off of a basically perfect routine, and it's just hard to do that over and over and over again. So yeah, that's Adela. Sorry it took me 6 years to get this wrap up. I've already started my new series. But yeah, if you are not tuned in to the final call out, me and Allison are doing show recap. So obviously this is my wrap up specifically from my experience. But Allison and I are going to be doing recaps of all the shows, where we will go over like the first call outs usually in physiques, and then we'll go over everybody's routines, just giving feedback, opinions, what we think happened, you know, just whatever. So we've already put out 1 episode. We are recording our next episode today. And that's going to be with Abby as one of our guests. And then I have started All Eyes on Olympia, my new series, my prep series. I'm 16 weeks out from the Olympia now. But yeah, go check out those other series, you guys. Thank you, as usual, for all the love, all the support. And we will not have another show wrap up until October. My next show wrap up is going to be the Olympia, which is completely insane. So exciting. So yeah, we'll talk soon. Thanks again for watching.